Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and today I'm going to show you how to make New Mexico style green chili stew. If you've been following my videos, you know that I just got back from Hatch, New Mexico, and I've got plenty of Hatch green chili, so I thought this would be a great way to put it to use. First, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because that helps my channel grow, and let's get cooking. Green chili stew is one of those staple foods that I grew up with in New Mexico, and whenever I make it, I don't really follow a recipe because it's one of those things that I learned how to make by watching, by putting a little of this and a little of that. So I'm going to try as best as I can to figure out the exact amounts as I go, and I'll put them for you in the description box below. Now, I'm going to be using pork meat today, but you can also use beef chuck or steak, just whatever you have. And you can see that I've already got this cut into cubes, and this is probably about 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. Of course, you're also going to need some Hatch green chili, and as I mentioned earlier, we just got back from Hatch. We were there over Labor Day weekend, and we had a 40-pound bag of chili roasted and peeled, so now you can see that my freezer is fully stocked for the year. And I'm going to be using that first batch today, and this is probably about 1.5 cups once it's all chopped up. Now, you're also going to need some potatoes, tomatoes, an onion, garlic cloves, some chicken or beef stock, and then whatever seasonings you like. I just use salt, pepper, and cumin. Now, some people also put in carrots or even corn kernels in their green chili stew, but I keep mine very traditional, very simple, and it's always great. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm first going to prep all my vegetables. That means peeling and chopping these potatoes. I like them in small bite-sized cubes. I'll set them aside, then chop up the tomatoes. I'll then chop up about half of this onion. Goodness, that was a strong onion. Now that I've had a good cry, I can chop up the fresh green chili.
My eyes are still running.
I'll set all these ingredients aside for now. Then I'm going to place a large saucepan over medium-high heat and coat the bottom with olive oil. When it's hot, I'll toss in the pork meat and sear it. I'll come over here so I can show you something. Now, depending on the kind of meat that you use and how much fat there is in it, you may have liquid form like this, and you don't want that. So I'm going to take this and drain it, and then I'll bring it back to the stove. Oops, that's what I was afraid of. And now I'm going to add a little more oil because I'm going to fry the onion in here. Now I can add in the chopped onion and let it saute a couple of minutes until translucent. If I hadn't removed that liquid, then when I put the onion in there, it wouldn't fry up as nicely. Definitely want that onion flavor in there. I'll then add in the garlic, the chopped tomatoes, the green chili, smells like heaven, and finally the potatoes. I'll stir it for just a bit, then I'll pour in enough of this beef stock to just barely cover all the ingredients. I'll season with salt, a little pepper, and some cumin, which is an important ingredient in Southwest cooking, and you'll see it in a lot of my recipes. As I stir, I'll sort of scrape the bottom of the saucepan to get all those yummy tidbits to loosen up, and it's all going to add flavor to our mix. And since it's come to a boil, I'll cover, lower the heat, and let it simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour. That's about how long it takes for the meat to become tender and the vegetables to get soft. What I love is the aroma just fills the entire house while it's cooking. It kind of drives my poor dog Miley crazy. You can just see her salivating as she keeps watch of the stove. Oh, Miley, you poor thing. It's hard to smell this, huh? About 30 minutes into the cooking process, I check in, and at this point you can decide if you want to add a little more stock. It just depends on how thick you want your stew. I also taste to see if any more salt is needed and adjust if necessary. Then I let it finish cooking. This green chili stew is done and looks so good. I'm going to go ahead and ladle some into a bowl. This is a really great stew that just smells so wonderful. You know, I have so many memories of coming home and opening the door, and the smell of chili is the first thing that hits you, and it's just wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste. There's so many flavors that are good. You've got the hatch green chili that's just the right amount of kick, and then the pork meat and the potatoes are nice and tender. It's just one of those hearty stews that'll fill you up, and you'll still want seconds. I hope you try it. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.